The comments heard on The View from A Pew are those of Mac McCoy and are not necessarily the opinions of his guests, his producer Garth, any one particular denomination or religion, the church lady, Mr. Lemke, Pastor Craig, or anyone else of sound mind and body. Now, here is today's The View from A Pew, heard all around the world on YouTube. Just search for The View from A Pew.
Thank you, Emily. This is The View from A Pew, heard on the Webcast One Live network. You can catch our programs on 27 different pod sites, and if you want to know what each of those are, I've got a slide, I'll call it a slide or a picture, on the screen that we're using now for the webcast part, and it has all the different places that we are on, including our YouTube page and our Roku page. That's our newest venture here in 24. The Lord led me to listen to him. I don't usually like it when Christians talk like that because I'm not a full, I just doubt sometimes that that's true. But God did lay on my heart about midway last year that he wanted me to start a program on this network that talks about what the devil has taken from us. And we're not going to do that today with my guest host, Gary Hutchins from Sunny Slope, but we do that every once in a while, and we sure appreciate you taking the time to look us up on Roku, YouTube, wherever it is. Just search for The View from A Pew. All right, Gary Hutchins from Sunny Slope is in. Sunny Slope's at 108th and Maple for those of you folks that are local. 9:30 is Bible study, 10:30 is service, 6 o'clock another Bible service that evening, and then Wednesday night is kind of a Wednesday midweek study, and that starts at 6:30, all at Sunny Slope. You can check that out at churchofchrist.com, and you'll find that all the ministry things that Gary and his church does are available to you at no charge, and you can use them, and you probably should use them. Probably you should start using them as a daily devotional because you do have daily devotionals that come out.
Yeah, we actually have what we call today's Bible class. It's about a 13, 14-minute Bible study every day. And it's a series of seven episodes, if you want to call it that, or sections, because it's 7 days a week. And so it keeps people in the Bible. And since faith comes by hearing the Word of God, Romans 10 and verse 17, that really helps people grow in their faith and stay strong in their faith.
Absolutely. And, Jesus has a way of working things out. I used to go up to my pastor after some of his sermons and say, "Are you reading my mail? How did you know I needed to hear that?" Well, he always said he didn't, but Christ did. And so maybe today you'll hear a little something that'll help you move through this day, this 16th day of May. That's the date that we're recording this. You may be listening to it at any time. And today, for our three segments, we're going to talk about what does the Bible say about eternity. Kind of an important topic. We'll start with some introduction of things, then get right directly into the body of what it says, and then we'll conclude in our third sessions which reality awaits you. Are you ready for eternity? Yeah, this may be one of those programs that convicts you that Jesus sends you a message that there's a little more for us to do to join him. All right, Gary, thanks for being here today. And let's start with the introduction about what does the Bible say about eternity?
Well, Mac, we make all kinds of plans in our life. We plan for trips. We plan for vacations. We plan for retirement. We plan for our kids' college, education. The plans go on and on and on. We also take all kinds of steps to try to be prepared for the unforeseen. All of us probably get stricken with some kind of illness, or maybe we're in a car accident, or we trip at home and we fall and break an arm, and then now we're handicapped for a while, and I knew a fellow who, and he and his wife they were not overflowing in money, believe me, and he fell actually doing some church work, in our bus ministry, when I was preaching down in Southern Illinois many, many years ago, and he broke a leg, and so he was out of work for a good while. Okay, so we take steps to try to prepare for those eventualities if they come our way, and one or more of them are going to come our way, probably.
Absolutely.
In life, yeah. And so we take out insurance policies, health insurance policies. We take out life insurance policies. Maybe we take out, there's kind of insurance policy that you can take out, especially if you're in business, I guess, where you're insured against loss of income for a period of time.
Yep.
And then we take out, burial insurance, and it just goes on and on. Car insurance. So we take all of those kinds of precautions to get ready for what might happen. Well, what we're talking about when we're talking about what about eternity? Well, what about eternity? Are you planning for eternity? Are you getting ready for eternity?
Yeah, I heard once, Gary, that somebody said that this walk that we're on right now is grad school for eternity.
Yeah.
Once Jesus has come into our life and asked us to be a part of his, and we commit our lives to him, we've already gotten to the point where we believe in the gospel message. But why, once we believe in the gospel message, is it sometimes decades before we get to enjoy the free gift of salvation? And God says, in a way, he's preparing for us to get there. And that's kind of what you're talking about today.
Well, let's broaden that perspective. There are a whole lot of people who would say, I believe in God. Yes, I believe in Jesus. And they'll even talk about how much they love God, how much they love Jesus. Oh, what a warm feeling they have in their heart, and all that. They're living an absolutely ungodly life. They say they love God, they love Jesus, they have this faith in them, but they're not living by God's teachings. And so they're not getting ready for eternity. And eternity, for every single one of us, is right on the other side of physical death.
Yeah.
And somebody might say, well, yeah, but you've got this 20-year-old, and he's thinking, what are you talking about? Physical death? That's forever down the road.
Yeah.
Because you start thinking about 65, 70, 75, 80, 85 years old. You think, well, that's forever. Talk to a 65 or a 70 or a 75-year-old person and ask them, does it seem like forever since you were 20? No, it seems like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
And so people will procrastinate, and they will live that worldly life. And I'm not mincing words here. I mean, this is the reality. There's no need to try to, just sugarcoat it. They're living an unworldly life, thinking they've got forever to get ready for forever. I hope you understand the play on words there.
Yeah.
They don't have forever. You and I were talking before we started broadcasting today. I've been a full-time gospel preacher for decades, and I have spoken at funerals, yes, for 90-some-year-olds, 80-some-year-olds, but also for 1-year-old,
Yeah.
4-year-old,
Yep.
young adults, all ages. People die all the time and at all ages. You need to be ready right now. There's a story I've told by way of illustration, and I suspect this is just kind of a preacher story made up, but it's like we might liken it to the parables that Jesus told. They were probably just good illustrations Jesus used. Could have been true, but maybe he was just using very descriptive language to try to get across a particular teaching through those parables. But whatever that case, we can think about that kind of application. So here is this homeowner, but he's not a homeowner. Let's say he's an estate owner. And so he calls in his groundskeeper and he says, I'm going to go on a trip. He doesn't tell him how long he's going to be gone, doesn't tell him when he's going to be back. He just says, I'm going to be away for a while. He says, I want you to take care of everything while I'm gone. And so the groundskeeper says, okay, yes, sir, I will. And so that groundskeeper is out there every day working on that estate, every single day. Might take Sunday off, but I mean every day, basically, of the work week. And he's doing that week after week, month after month. And people come by and they see him out there. Some of them know, well, the fellow who owns that place, he's not there. He's gone. He's traveling someplace. And so one day somebody comes along and he says, Fred, you're out here every day. You're out here every day working like you expect, the owner to come back tomorrow. And the groundskeeper stops and he looks up and he says, no, I'm working like I expect him to come back today.
Oh,
today.
Wow.
See, when might that time happen for us? Or when might be that day when the Lord comes back on the final day of judgment? It could be today. Are you getting ready for eternity?
My co-host, as always, on What Does the Bible Say About Blank is Sunny Slope Pastor Gary Hutchins. Services here in the Omaha area at 10:30 on Sunday morning, but before that, a Bible study from 9:30 to 10:30. 6 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, they gather again at Sunny Slope, and then Wednesday night at 6:30, a Bible study as well as a ministry service. And that's all at thechurchofchrist.com. Okay, so we're going to come back and we're going to do two more segments, and it's going to be talking about, are we preparing today?
Yep.
Are we prepared to be ready? Not
eternity.
Tomorrow, but
No,
today.
Today, yeah.
I like that.
What about eternity?
Yeah.
Are you getting ready?
Now, let me just tell you that you may disagree or your theology may not be exactly the same as Gary's on this, but he's not wrong. There are so many unknown things that God lays before us that he tells us one day we'll get to figure it out. And this may be a day that you hear something that you're convicted of. Oh my gosh, I'm still doing that sin, or I don't do those things. And you may get the message that maybe you're not prepared to go into eternity. Good for you. That's what we want you to hear. We're not here to try to scare anybody. We're not going to talk about the devil or anything like that. But as Christians, are we ready to go if Jesus returns today? And we'll talk about that today on The View from A Pew. I'm Mac McCoy. If I haven't told you lately that we love you, we love our jobs, we couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate the worldwide support of DivineTruthChristianStore.com. Anytime you want anything that you could usually find in a Christian store, go online, DivineTruthChristian.com, and check them out.
DivineTruthChristian